Yo, what is good? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Blues House Live. What is good, y'all? You know who I be, man. I am Bluminati. This is your place where black pop culture meets nerdcore realness. I'm gonna start using that. I love that. Nerdcore. Yeah, man. I am Bluminati. Today, we taking flight, y'all. Taking flight. The early reactions are in. I'm gonna do my reaction. James Gunn's Superman. It just dropped. I saw it. I saw it, y'all. Look at me. I saw it. I saw it. Got word on the curb, word on the street. This movie might be one of them ones. You feel me? Might be one of them. You get it? Might be a one of one, man. A uno of uno. That's right, man. David Corenswet, he might be that guy. He might be the perfect Superman that we need for this time right here, right now. This movie is full of heart, joy, sincerity. Got me thinking, man. Got me thinking. Is James Gunn, is he the one who cracks the Superman code? Is James Gunn the one to get Superman right on the movie screen? And this ain't no shot to Zach. Zach did his thing. Man of Steel, I still think is dope. But when I first saw Man of Steel, I always said that ain't Superman to me. You know what I'm saying? That he reminded me more of Batman than Superman. So I'm asking, did James Gunn crack the Superman code? Did he? Did he? And is David Corenswet about to become the Superman for a new generation? Or are we just hyping this shit up early? You know what I'm saying? Are we just into just hyping it up for buzz and vibes just because we brand new in the game and stuff like that? So yeah, we're gonna unpack all that, man. We're gonna compare the Corenswet, the Cavill's debate. Should Superman what Superman should be in 2025, and we're gonna see how the tone really defines this superhero movie, man. So yeah. Let's get right into it. First, let's talk about these first reactions and the tone shift. The tone shift, right? It's because it was a huge tone shift, man. Now, I want to start with a quote from a reviewer, right, which I think kind of sums up this movie, this thing that we're calling Superman. He said, "This is an indescribable, joyful movie that wears its heart on its sleeve from beginning to end." And when I read that, I was like, that's about right. That kind of sums this whole movie up. This whole film is summed up by those words. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bold statement because we got to be honest. For a decade, DC movies have been allergic to just to being joyful, to being happy. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Snyder era, what do we get in the Snyder era? Moody, brooding, philosophical, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, Man of Steel was dope, had all its moments that it needed, but was it joyful? Nah, not necessarily. Does it remind you of what Superman did Man of Steel remind you of? And there's been different iterations of Superman throughout the years, but this kind of came out of the blue. Zack Snyder's Superman kind of came out of like left field. At least that's how I felt. Now, I could be wrong. But now we got James Gunn kind of flipping the script, going back. He's saying, let Superman be Superman again. We got to let Superman be Superman again, right? Bright, kind, hopeful. You know what I'm saying? We need that tone shift, right? And the movie doesn't hide from its comic book roots. It actually embraces them like it's supposed to, right? You know what I mean? So I want y'all to think about all of that, especially in the time when superhero films are either hella gritty, like the Batman, or just hella cynical, kind of like Deadpool. Gunn is bringing back kind of sincerity, you know what I'm saying, to what a comic book movie is. Like going into this just being a comic book film. And I think that's dope. So, you know what I'm saying? What type of tone, I got to ask y'all these questions. What type of tone would y'all want from Superman? Do you miss the brooding, poetic, philosophical Cavill, right? Or are you ready to take a step in a new direction with this golden age type Clark Kent Superman warmth that we're getting? He taking his cape and he kind of hugging people, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know in the comments down below how y'all particularly feel about Cavill versus Corenswet, right? When it comes to things, because Corenswet, some people are calling him the perfect Superman, the perfect Man of Steel, right? Physically, he fits the bill. If you see him, his stature, he's tall. I think he's taller than Cavill. I want to say he might be an inch or two taller than Cavill, right? Square jaw. He's got the blue eyes. That the frame, like I said, towering frame. But it is a little bit more than looks. It's about presence. Does he carry himself like a Superman? Does he carry himself like a Clark Kent? And to me, he kind of balances it, out, the charm with the strength, the vulnerability with the sincerity. I think that's dope. Now, with that being said, we can't ignore the shadow of Henry Cavill, right? Because if you ask people today, a lot of people, Cavill's my Superman, and there's nothing wrong with that. Cavill came out and he killed it. I can't say he did a bad job, right? Cavill came out and killed it, and he's been people's Superman, even though I would say it was short-lived, but he really made a dent. He really put his, you know what I'm saying, his fingerprints all over Snyder world, the Snyderverse, as much as possible. And he really did good, you know what I'm saying? So Cavill fans, me included, you know what I'm saying, I would have loved to see Cavill come back. And when they said Cavill was coming back at the end of Black Adam, I was ecstatic. I was like, hell yeah, bring Cavill back. Let's go. Dude was Superman for me for over a decade, even though it was short-lived because he wasn't in a lot of projects. But for over a decade, you know what I'm saying, Henry Cavill was Superman. So I can't do nothing but give him props. Can't do nothing but give him props. It's well deserved that he gets the props that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? But the scripts that he had, it never really let him shine and become the Superman that I know from the comics, the Superman that I know from the animated side of things. We never got that Superman, which I think is the 90 percentile Superman that people know. You know what I'm saying? The percentage would be in the 90s. People know the Superman, the animated Superman. People know the comic book Superman. People know the Christopher Reeve Superman. You know what I'm saying? And we never really got that from him. Right. But I think Cavill was, and like I said earlier, I think they wrote Cavill, I think they wrote his Superman like Batman. Right? He was tortured. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like everything with him was deep. He was alienated, but Superman's whole deal is that despite all his power, he connects to people. He just wanted to be one of us. He just wanted to be one of the homies, right? And he wants to help. Superman's whole thing was, for him, he was Clark Kent. And I think with Zack Snyder Superman, we got away from him being Clark Kent, because if you read a comic, he would love to be Clark Kent. That's his whole thing. Like, Batman thing is, he'll run around in that bat suit all day long. He ain't worry about being Bruce Wayne. He'll run around in that bat suit all day long. Superman wants to be Clark Kent. He want to have the relationships with Lois. He want to kick it with Jimmy. He want, you know what I'm saying, have friends and work at the Daily Planet and have a regular job. Superman was his secret identity. That's something he did kind of on the side because he wanted to help people, but he didn't need people to know who he was. See, Batman is Batman first, Bruce Wayne second. And I think with Zack Snyder Superman, I think that's what we got. We got that Superman being Superman first instead of being Clark first. That's kind of how it played. You know what I'm saying? But this new portrayal seems to kind of go back to that humanity over the mythology of being Superman, of being this Jesus-like figure. You know, emotions over just existing as being bigger than. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, that Superman seemed like it was, even the way Zack Snyder shot him was like a godlike figure, right? And he is kind of like a godlike figure. I'm not saying that Superman is not a godlike figure, but the way he was presented to us on screen was godlike figure. Superman here is presented as, yeah, I got all these superpowers, but man, I just want to kick it. I'm just one of the homies. I'm down with y'all to, you know what I'm saying? If you watch the movie, you will see that it's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. Not saying that Zack Snyder Superman wasn't about humanity, but this David Corenswet, James Gunn Superman, humanity first. Like, and you feel it. It resonates. You know what I'm saying? Now, did Henry Cavill do y'all think Henry Cavill got done dirty? Because it's kind of like they brought him back in for the Black Adam situation. I thought that was kind of fire. I didn't like that. I didn't like, because it was like, hey, we're bringing you back. We're going to go forward with you. We're going to do some stuff with you. And then they hired James Gunn, and James Gunn pulls the plug on all of that. I felt that was kind of disingenuous by the Warner Brothers brass, the executives. I thought they did. I do think they did him dirty. I think James Gunn, and this is no fault to James Gunn, but I think coming into that situation, there was a lot of things that might or could be looked at as foul. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this about that. So is David Corenswet a better fit for the true essence of what Superman is? Like I said, this happy, bright, kind, want to help humanity, Boy Scout, because that's what this is. And that's what I get. He is now, if y'all ever watched the animated show or Justice League cartoons or whatever, they always referred to him as the Boy Scout. I think now we're getting that. We're getting Superman as the Boy Scout, right? I think we're getting that. So let's do this real quick. Let's show this real quick.
Superman has become the focal point of the world's conversation.
Oh, my bad. Why is it not showing that? That's not what I'm trying to show. My bad, y'all. Wrong thing. Why did it do that?
Superman doesn't have time for selfies.
You're referring to yourself in third person?
No, it's just a thing I came up with.
Rated PG-13.
I think that is a dope trailer to get you into it, to show you what, what Clark Kent Superman is about. I think that's dope. And I just want to show y'all that to see if y'all get a feeling. Does that trailer give y'all a feeling? We could watch. Let's run it back one more time.
Superman has become the focal point of the...
That's weird.
Superman has become the focal point of the world's conversation.
Superman doesn't have time for selfies.
You're referring to yourself in third person?
No, it's just a thing I came up with.
Rated PG-13.
Even, having that music and all of that, I don't really think we got a lot of that score in Zack Snyder's Superman. So I thought that was dope too. We get the music, we get all of that. You know what I'm saying? That James Gunn approach, I think, really does something for the Superman. You know what I'm saying? We gotta zoom in on his vision, James Gunn's vision, man. Because this Superman never stops being, and I think that's dope. I think we gotta get to that. And no shade to Marvel, but I like that Superman never stops being a comic book movie. I like how Superman, we're just thrown into a comic book, Just boom, we're thrown into this comic book scape. There's no need to explain things because you're in a comic book world. You're in a comic book movie. The world is comic book. It's superheroes. It's this, that, and there's really no need to like explain things, right? And I think that's going to help the DCU going forward because I can just, you know what I'm saying? I can world build without forcing the world to build. And I think that's what when it comes to Marvel, yeah, they started forcing the world to build instead of just world building. If y'all understand what I'm saying, like this just allows, you know what I'm saying, because you just go into a superhero movie and it's like whatever happens next because it's a superhero movie. And I think they want to tie everything in, comic books, cartoons, all types of stuff. And that now means instead of the comic book, you know what I'm saying? Because Marvel has a big influence on the comic books and not vice versa. The comic books don't have a big influence on the movies. I think with what Gunn is doing over there at DC and what those DC guys are doing, they're saying, if you want to know about these characters, go read these books. Go read these, kind of like Star Wars. You want to know about these characters? Go research, go read these books. Get entrenched in the world of DC, right? To me, that's a good thing that Gunn is doing. At least that's what I see Gunn is doing. That's a good thing. These characters, we're going to give you just enough, but I want to make you go run out and buy a book. I want to go make you run out and read a comic. Watch the cartoon. And the thing is, they don't have to connect. Right? They ain't got to connect, but you want to know who this character is? Go read about it. The Easter eggs that we're showing, go read about it. Go research. Go study. Marvel kind of got away from that. Because then when you go research and study, you find out that this character is white. Or this character don't even exist. Like, but that's neither here nor there, man. But yeah, it never stops being a comic book movie, which is important. That shows that Gunn is not ashamed to make his movie feel like a comic. Bright colors, moral clarity, dramatic, fights and rescues, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? This ain't The Watchmen. This ain't Logan. This is Superman, right? And I like that Gunn is leaning into the whole heroic aspect of it, the heroic fantasy of this whole thing, man. Think of all the golden age comics and ideals wrapped up into this modern day storytelling. Because that's what you're getting with this. That's exactly what you're getting with this, man. And you can say what you want about Gunn over there at Marvel, his work over there, the Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that. But Gunn knows how to mix emotion, comedy, and stakes. Right? He seems to know how to do that. Regardless of if you like his stuff or if you don't, he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to mixing that emotion, comedy, and stakes. He does that. That's what he does. Now, are we finally at the point where comic book movies can be unapologetically comic book again? Right? Because, I got a lot of flack because over in the Marvel world, it's certain rule. The thing is, now going into this DC world, the rules that I know from this world just by watching this movie is anything can happen. The Marvel world operate by a different parameter of rules, of logic over there. MCU logic, DCU logic. Two totally different logic, but they're all based on comic books, and we know comic books are based in fantasy, not reality, right? But yet and still, that logic, that MCU logic, to me, has to keep fitting. DCU logic, now I know DCU logic, it's going to allow for a lot of things to happen. and a lot of storytelling to be told without the premeditated judgment on top of it. And I think that's going to work for them. If y'all know what I mean, you know what I'm saying? If y'all know what I mean. So with that being said, in regards to building DC's foundation, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot, because this Superman movie is not just a reboot. You know what I'm saying? It's a brick. This is a cornerstone in James Gunn's new DC universe. That's what this is. It's a cornerstone. This is you know, that first brick being laid down to build out the foundation. So you gotta nail Superman, or nothing else will work. If this Superman don't pass muster, nothing else will work. That's it, period. Superman is the foundation, the sun, the moral compass, true north, right? The guy other than heroes, or the guy that other heroes aspire to. He gotta be that. And this movie has to be that as well when it comes to comic book films, right? This, to me, not saying that this movie is the best movie in the world, but this iteration of Superman is kind of like the perfect Man of Steel. I think so. And I'm not saying that to be hyperbolous or hyperbolic, I think would be the right word. And I'm not saying that for that. I'm saying as far as the Superman going into from 2025 going forward, coming out of Zack Snyder's dark universe that we got over there, coming into a more bright, a more happy-go-lucky. I don't want to say happy-go-lucky. A more heroic, that's what I say, a more heroic Superman / Clark. I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need. I think DC now has its north. It's got its character that it can concentrate, focus on, and everything else could branch out of. Right? Iron Man, they tried to make Captain America the true north, but in the MCU, Iron Man was its true north. DC now has its true north. Right? But it's a risk, just like anything. It's risk involved. If you start with Superman and it flops, you be done lost everybody before you can even get the your second wall up on your house. So Superman got to work. It's got to work. This got to work. It don't have to go out and do $1 billion, but it's got to be a good film. It's got to be like, okay, I want to see what's next. It's got to make people want to see what is next. Got to. You know what I'm saying? Will Superman be enough to bring casual fans back to DC? Will it be enough? Because it seems now people are burnt out on DC. People are looking at DC with the side eye. You know, after the Flash, Black Adam, Shazam 2, people looking like, I don't know. Can Superman bring the regulars back? I think this movie does that. I think this movie has everything that it needs to do to bring not only the heavy into the comic book realm, the heavy into the movie realm, but it also, I think, is good enough to bring families in, multiple watches. And that's what's good about this film. This film is made for the little ones. That's what I think. And when you make a film that the little ones can be attached to, now that's making you have to go back, repeat. Oh, I want to go see Superman again. That's what you do. I'm gonna give the people who are heavily into Superman, I'm gonna give them enough Superman to where they like it, but I'm also giving them the kids enough things that make, because think about, and I believe they did a study on colors and how it relates to kids, right? Those colors being bright and things like that, that attracts children. That's why McDonald's It's the colors that it is, which is virtually the same colors that Superman is, right? That's Burger King, loud colors. Like these back in the day. Now, I know it ain't like that now, but back in the day when they was really aiming for kids, those bright colors, Ronald McDonald, Grimace, Hamburg, like the Fry Guys, all bright and vivid, colors, vibrant colors. Everything now is monotone and minimalistic, and that's not getting kids in there. I even think with the Snyder universe, I don't think kids was a priority with that. I think Zack Snyder was just trying to make, and like I said, no shade to him, but he wasn't making a movie kid friendly when he should have. I think he should have. I think he should have been making a movie that's kid friendly, not having a brooding Superman, right? Because Superman he's a cultural symbol, a cultural icon, man. You know what I'm saying? He's always been more than just a superhero. He's a metaphor. We all seen a lot of people get mad earlier because James Gunn said he was an immigrant. He's the immigrant. It's an immigrant story, right? It's an immigrant story. An alien / now when he gets to Earth, he's like a god who chooses to be human. A god who chooses to be human. He chooses that. I just want to be one of the homies. You know what I'm saying? And it's at a time where the world feels chaotic, anxious, overwhelmed. Maybe this is what the world needs to see, a symbol of hope. Actual hope, not just the logo means hope, like what Zack Snyder did. Nah. We're actually seeing Superman doing that, becoming a beacon, becoming the symbol of hope, becoming that. Living it. And maybe that's what this world needs, man. Superman actually, Superman matters. Superman matters. It's crazy how much Superman has mattered throughout his tenure in media. Superman changed the Klan. Superman went out on, beat up the Klan in the radio show, and that I'm not saying it got rid of the Klan, but that hurt the Klan. The Ku Klux Klan was hurt in real life because Superman, being the beacon of hope that he was in a radio show, helped kind of dismantle the Klan down a little bit. So yes, Superman means something. Not just the franchise, you know what I'm saying? But he can be used. Propaganda can be good or bad. Propaganda can be good or bad. The way I look at it, and maybe I'm wrong, but if you use propaganda correctly, you can make some things happen. Change can happen, right? Shout out to the homie Chill, because Chill is always talking about positive representation, right? And I agree with him. These are the things that we need that would help change some things, right? Maybe it helped change some things. Now, as a black person that I am, you always wrestle with Superman. Ultimate privilege. He's white, this unstoppable powerhouse. Nothing can really, happen to stuff like that. So you kind of really struggle with this white Jesus character that they put on screen and stuff like that. But to me, when written right, and his ideal of what people should strive to be, strong enough to protect, humble enough to be to listen, kind enough to care, I think that's a good thing, right? And I'm super pro black. I'm super pro black. All, you know what I'm saying? All the way. Super pro black. Let's go. Super, you know what I'm saying? Super pro black. But I do think these things help. I really do. I do think these things help. Superman, I wouldn't mind showing my kid Superman. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I kind of harped on a little bit earlier. Like, this is the movie that you can show your kids no matter the color. You know what I'm saying? This. And I think it'll give a good tale, a good story, a good parable with things. You know what I'm saying? So not a savior, but a servant of humanity, a servant of the people. That's what it should be about. No, I'm not a savior. I'm a servant of the people. And that's the Superman that it seems like we're getting. I like that. So I'm gonna ask this question to y'all. What does Superman mean to y'all personally? Right? And have you ever felt inspired by him? Whether you as a kid, even as an adult now, you know what I'm saying? I know I got a lot of adults out here. Or is he just another superhero? You know what I'm saying? In a sea of superheroes. Do y'all even care? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? But before I go, let's run through some of these what people are saying about this movie, just to wrap up things. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Just to wrap things up, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? This comes from Dorian Talks. He said, just saw Superman. Wow, what a blast. Can y'all see that? They are tripping today. Hold on. What the world? Oh, here we go. Let me do this. Because they tripping today. It says, wow, what a blast. James Gunn delivers a fun, emotional, action-packed movie, accomplishes to make Superman look cool. Lex Luthor is a terrifying, incredible villain, and I hope to see a lot of him. The DCU is off to an amazing start. I want to say, yeah, Lex Luthor, I think I called him Lex Luger. Lex Luthor was terrifying and incredible villain. Like, 1 minute you're looking at him like, and then the next he doing some stuff. It's like, he really about that life. I thought that was solid. It's come from David Gonzalez. He says, James Gunn's Superman will make you believe a man can fly again. A soaring triumph that recaptures the classic DC spirit and reminds us why the Man of Steel still matters. David Corenswet embodies the hope, humility, and heroism of the last son of Krypton. Nicholas Hoult brings in a chilling edge to Lex Luthor, channeling the menace of Michael Rosenbaum's Smallville portrayal, while Rachel Brosnahan delivers the wit, warmth, and tenacious spark that defines Lois Lane. While some of Gunn's signature quips don't always land, they never overshadow the film's beating heart. It's not just a new Superman, it's the fresh start DC needed. It's a return to believing. That's dope. That's dope. I think that's dope, man. You know, one thing I say before I wrap it up, Lois Lane was a dope character. Let me just wrap up this whole thing. Some things that I kind of forgot to mention in my notes. Mr. Terrific. Eddie played a hell of a role, and I'm glad he got his just due. Mr. Terrific seems to be the standout character. I know we got Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner, cool. I know we got Hawk Girl, cool. Mr. Terrific, though, and I like that he was there to actually problem solve and do stuff. He just wasn't a they show him background character. And I'm not saying that Hal Jordan and Hawk Girl was that, neither. They had their stuff, but Mr. Terrific showed up for the film. You know what I'm saying? I like that James Gunn put him kind of front and center in this film, problem solving, doing all the things that Mr. Terrific does. His T-Sphere fight, I like that fighting style. I want to see more of it. I hope we see more of it because he really did his thing with it. And I'm gonna tell you this: James Gunn doesn't get credit for his fight scenes, his action scenes that he does, but James Gunn put out pretty good action scenes. The choreography of it is pretty good, right? It's pretty good. They all the critics or whatever spoke about Nicholas Hoult. Great job as Lex. Probably one of the better Lexes I've seen in a long time, right? Real dope, especially, the other dude he just brought up, Michael Rosenbaum, and that Lex was always my Lex, but this Lex, he did a good job, real good job, man. All the characters really did what they were supposed to do. I really enjoyed Jimmy Olsen. Just watching Jimmy Olsen work, I was like, Jimmy out here being a player. Look at Jimmy. Like Jimmy was on it. Salute to Jimmy, man. Jimmy is that guy. I want to see more Jimmy, right? I want to see more Jimmy. But yeah, nah, this is dopeness. Really enjoyed it. Do I want to give a rating? I don't know if I want to give a rating. I give it a. I want to give it a 9. Do I want to give it a 9? I will have to watch it again to give it a 9. So right now I'm gonna go 8 to 8.5, 8 to 8.5. Like I said, it's not a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a damn good movie. It's a damn good movie, man. It's all sunshine, sincerity, soaring high, baby. David Corenswet did his thing, man. He might have the cape on lock. And James Gunn, he did it, made a Superman movie about hope instead of despair. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for when it comes to Superman. Hope. We keep talking about hope. You know what I'm saying? But as always, I want to hear from y'all. I want to know if y'all saw it. I'm getting tongue-tied. If y'all saw it, are you buying the hype? Did the trailers make you believe? Is that why you went to go see it? Or do you want Henry Cavill back? You want Henry Cavill back? Is it Corenswet's time now? Like all of that is good talking points. And I need y'all to beat that up in the comments. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all want. Is sincerity the new superpower? Right? Is being kind the new superpower? Is that what we need now in this world? Just kindness. Will kindness take us there in this world? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. I appreciate everybody kicking it here at Blues House. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, y'all mess with me, man. Don't forget to like this. Please, as soon as you come in and you're watching this, give me a thumbs up, please. Please. Share it with your homies, your neighbors, anybody like that. And if you want to become a member, memberships are always open. They are open. Become a member. I'm going to start doing giveaways in the membership. So in order to get these to get these giveaways, you have to become a member. So please do that. But you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Take it easy, be safe. And like that, we are out. Peace.